what does freedom mean to you, man? As I sit back and just contemplate on the 4th of July, just about independence, freedom, man. Oftentimes on this day, I go read a document written by one of my heroes, Frederick Douglass, and it is called "What to the Slave is the 4th of July." If you have not read that speech, man, I highly recommend you go read it. It's a piece of literature that is not that long. It's about a good 5 to 6 minute read, but it is incredibly deep and powerful, man. To see like one of our ancestors, one of our most important leaders stand in front of a group of white people, man, and just call them savages, call them hypocrites, and challenge a nation to awaken the consciousness and acknowledge the hypocrisy that was happening in that time, man. It was written in the 1950s. Obviously, slavery was still happening, but the celebration of the 4th of July was going on, and on that day, man, he delivered a very powerful word to really just challenge people, man, to look at the behaviors of the nation. And as I look 175 years later and contemplate what freedom means now, uh, it definitely looks a lot different, man. We've come a long way. I mean, obviously, we're no longer enslaved. Jim Crow has been eradicated. We're even doing work with the mass incarceration issue. However, we still have a big gap when it comes to economic empowerment, man. A lot of us are still bound to the financial and economic woes that are within our community, that doesn't allow us to get the freedom we need, man. That doesn't allow us to take off and take care of people around us when they're sick or need help. That allows us to be able to take off and relax and decompress whenever there are high times of anxiety and stress, because you are in a place that you have to pay bills, you have to go in and work whenever you necessarily might not want to. You have a kid and you got to be right back to the job. You can't take that paternity leave or time off to spend time with your newborn. That these types of things show shine a light on the freedoms that a lot of our community does not have. And I just challenge each and every person out there right now, man, understand what your freedom number is. I think every person should have a freedom number, and a freedom number is getting to a point where you have enough money that produces a lifestyle that you enjoy. And how you obtain that freedom number is understanding what your expenses are. Get your monthly expenses, multiply that by 12, and now you have a yearly expense calculation. You minus that by any outside income that you may be looking to receive by the time you either retire or um, decide to move into just a interest-free life. So whether it be rental properties or social security checks or disability or whatever side income that's coming in, and then you divide that by 0.04. And this calculation is the 4% rule. And what that number essentially gets you is your freedom number. And the idea behind the freedom number is you are essentially looking to get that amount in an investment that's going to produce either dividends or bond coupons, to where you're able to live off the interest but reinvest to keep up with inflation every year. And that way you are able to obtain your freedom because you're no longer bound to a job that produces income, but you're able to live off the assets that you've been able to build up. Now, obviously, you need to get some type of high paying skill or entrepreneurial job or whatever the case that may be to build up to get to that freedom number. But it is so vital to have that number posted somewhere in your heart, in your mind, to know what you're chasing, because it's going to allow you to make financial decisions to get to that number. But man, you guys can do what you want to at the end of the day, man. This is just a real deep one for me because independence is something that this channel is all about, man. I say it in a different way, of which, I'm your chief inspirational officer who helps people with a CEO mind take authority over their life and finances. And taking authority is essentially gaining and obtaining your independence. But again, you guys can do what you want to at the end of the day. This is me, Ben Holmes, the Chief Inspirational Officer, helping those with a CEO mind take authority not only over their life, but their money. So, until the next time, check in, check out. Happy 4th. Peace.